As an intertextual study, as well as being an aesthetic piece of narrative experimentation and expression, David Lynch's Mulholland Drive earns its place among the pantheon of great films, but its surrealist avenues all lead back to one defining concept that makes it such a captivating experience. At its heart, Mulholland Drive is a love story. To be more specific, it is a universal love story where a tumult of emotions merge, resulting in a juxtaposition of elevation and dissipation. While the interpretations afforded by Lynch's interest and intuition are numerous, it is this understanding of pure feeling that gives Mulholland Drive resonance, allowing a story, however you choose to read it, to form. Love adopts many guises throughout Mulholland Drive and even takes on physical forms as well as metaphysical. In the introduction to Betty, an aspiring actress played by Naomi Watts, the bright lights and urgent jitterbug soundtrack and visuals reveal this is a character who embodies love. Betty arrives in Hollywood in love with the American dream, the dream of being a star, and her naivete is not particularly satirized. Lynch treats it with an affection amounting to celebration, admiring Betty's devotion to her ideal and how it embodies her appetite for life. He shows this in her wide-eyed emergence from the airport in the opening scenes. She's so joyful and excited about her quest for fulfillment, we immediately root for her to ascend to the giddy heights of stardom. However, Betty puts her vulnerabilities out in the open where they eventually become exploited, as the absurdly sinister elderly couple that were Betty's travel companions herald. As always with Lynch, there is the sense from the very beginning that something unsettling resides behind the gleaming, manufactured whiteness of smiles. But we consider the inevitability of this exploitation a tragedy, rather than offer a cynical condemnation of Watts' character. There is a hope encompassed in Betty's insouciant energy that we are attracted to, and it is this hope, as a being of love, that also opens Betty's heart to an equally vulnerable, yet more inaccessible character in Rita, played by Laura Elena Herring. We meet Rita on a stretch of long dark road, the titular Mulholland Drive, where a car crash leaves her concussed and suffering from amnesia. Alone and afraid, Rita, tellingly not her real name as Herring crafts a persona that is motivated by circumstance, gives herself completely to Betty's warmth and appetite for the American dream, of which Rita represents the jaded side that leads to identity crisis. Rita has been left damaged and bruised by her experiences in LA, losing her original persona along the way, and looks to Betty to provide some definition. Betty abandons caution, and she devours all aspects of the American dream without pause, consuming Rita and thereby developing a previously absent cynicism, which begets a love story that is uncompromising in its honesty. Betty's growing obsession with Rita darkens her outlook and engineers the collapse of her idealisms. As Rita looks for her next satisfying movie role, a role that might recover her true self or simply become another adaptation of the many parts she has become lost in, aligns herself with the work of film director Adam Kesher, played by Justin Theroux. This alliance drives Betty to the insanity of Diane Selwyn, a corrupted adaptation of Betty that has followed Rita down the dark paths of Hollywood, to find herself treading on her own broken dreams. Dreams of fame and dreams of love. But here Mulholland Drive reveals what constitutes true love. Lynch understands that true love is by turns beautiful, salubrious, infectious, obsessive, grueling, and irrational. True love is not ideal love, and it is this honesty that makes its love story so relatable. As Adam Kesher shows, this true love does not need to be necessarily directed at a person. His pained resistance to his producer's urgings to keep an open mind about recasting his lead confirm his love is his work, his movie. When he finds his girlfriend cheating on him with the pool repairman, Adam empties a pot of paint into her jewellery box. This show of anger is displayed in lurid pink. It's rendered preposterous on subtle, and it's over in a punch and a bloody nose. This exchange suggests the betrayal is little more than inconvenient to Adam, and nothing more than a blow to his ego. Adam is fundamentally affected by the interference in his movie, and while his relationship's facade hurts him, he literally drives away from it because it's that easy for him to do. But his true love, his movie, pursues him to a seedy apartment block where he's called on to meet a mysterious cowboy, possibly representing Adam's soul or perhaps creativity's higher power, to do good, rewarding Adam with one final appearance if he does so, and two if he does not. Adam then opens his mind to the casting. His love for his film has made him do something he would not normally do, casting an unknown in Camilla Rhodes, who inhabits Melissa George and then ultimately harings Rita, as she works her own angle in trying to reclaim a sense of self in the shallow world of stardom and celebrity. Adam's gifts might give Camilla Rita the meaning she so desperately needs, but the price is her ruthless abandonment of Betty. As for Adam, he seems to agree to marry Camilla Rita because she made his film come to life. The message is love the work, love the dream, adjust the lover. When Betty rematerializes in Diane Selwyn's persona, her fury is born from a fear of not knowing whether this is her true self or the self she has become through her involvement with Camilla Rita. Diane is the wound Betty received for giving herself openly to desperation, hunger and ambition. But nonetheless, Mulholland Drive adheres to the idea of love being mutable, while no less sincere for it. It is impossible for Betty not to change after she yields her defences to the movie industry, and she still worships it, worships Rita, despite the unravelling of her psyche. Love is as much dark obsession as it is light relief to the pain and struggle of life. Love is Betty, love is Rita, and they subsume as much as they consume each other. Change, therefore, is inevitable. To explore this further in the Club Silencio sequence, we witness the change in both Betty and Rita as they attend a strange show of illusion that enforces a transformation. A singer, Rebecca Del Rio, collapses after singing a Spanish version of Roy Orbison's Crying. This raw song, coupled with the expelling of the pain of love, heralds the change that occurs. Betty physically trembles uncontrollably. She is transforming. Her inhabiting of Diane is imminent. Rita then weeps, in part because she knows her relationship with Betty is expiring, but also because she realises she should be with the performers and not sat among the audience. She understands that she is Camilla, and this leads to her rejection of Betty as a misadventure. As both Rita and Betty transform, they cling to each other, desperate not to let their desire burn out. Change proves both cathartic to Betty and Rita in the sense that they deepen their intimacy in the moment, but it's pushing them apart at the same time. But the addictive characteristics of love are never denied by Lynch, as represented in the formidable audition scene. Betty performs a soap opera scene with an aging actor, replete with bad dialogue, and overseen by an incompetent director. This same dialogue she practiced with Rita, and they laughed at it, found pleasure in its corniness. The audition is set up to go the same way, as an artistically convulsive joke. But Betty wholeheartedly gives herself to love, fired by the whisper of Rita's touch and the promise of sexual fulfillment. And she imbues the audition with a potent eroticism and connectivity to the feelings that lie behind the superficial surface, because Betty believes she can actually make love happen. The script is an artifice, as is the audition setting, but love can be heard in bad dialogue where it catches at the throat or inflames the heart. The words are not so important if the heart is committed. Betty believes in the authenticity driving fantasy, and is able to express it in the audition, projecting it back onto Rita, who waits for her to bring those feelings home. In turn, Rita becomes resplendent with love, and is able to move towards Adam, and the work that might return her to her true self. Mulholland Drive recognises the artifice, the stilted politeness of first encounters, and the almost absurdist way we conceal our admiration for another person. The film understands these are smokescreens to protect ourselves and others from the uncomfortable truths of love. This is a love story, but it is one that acknowledges obsession, unfulfillment, and disharmony. This might be the god-awful feeling that grips Dan in terror behind Winkies. The feeling that we have to expose ourselves and our vulnerabilities to a force that is unpredictable and potentially damaging. Lynch exposes the fundamental truth behind our pursuit of love, in that the coveted does not equate to the necessary. What we want does not always align with what we need. However, Mulholland Drive celebrates our capacity to feel, whatever the consequences, and our adaptive abilities when the heart is truly broken.